Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of protein synthesis. Ever wondered how your cells actually build proteins?
It's wild, isn't it? The process starts with DNA, but it's not as simple as just reading a recipe.
Right. First, there's transcription. The cell copies the DNA code into messenger RNA, or mRNA.
Like a chef writing down a secret recipe so the kitchen staff can follow it. That mRNA then leaves the nucleus.
Exactly. And once it's in the cytoplasm, ribosomes grab onto the mRNA. That's when translation begins.
Ribosomes are like tiny assembly lines. They read the code and help string together amino acids in the right order.
But how do they know which amino acids to pick?
That's where transfer RNA or tRNA comes in. Each tRNA brings a specific amino acid and matches it to the mRNA code.
Sort of like a delivery truck making sure the right parts go to the right place on a construction site.
And one mistake in the code, and you might get a faulty protein. That can cause real problems, even diseases.
That's why the cell has quality control systems. Ever heard of proofreading enzymes?
Yeah, they double-check the code like editors scanning for typos, but mistakes can still slip through.
Speaking of mistakes, did you know sickle cell anemia is caused by just one wrong amino acid in hemoglobin?
Amazing how such a tiny change can have such a huge impact. It really shows how precise this process needs to be.
Absolutely. And the whole process is incredibly fast. Some cells make thousands of proteins per second.
It's like a factory working around the clock. But not all proteins are built the same way, right?
True. Some proteins are huge and complex. Others are small and simple. It depends on the gene and the cell's needs.
And environmental factors can influence protein synthesis too. Like if you're stressed, certain proteins get made more.
Or if you're building muscle, your cells ramp up production of muscle proteins. Pretty cool, right?
Super cool. But I always wondered, what happens to proteins after they're made?
Many get sent to different parts of the cell, or even outside the cell. Some are enzymes, some are hormones, some are structural.
Like collagen in your skin or insulin to control blood sugar. It's so diverse.
And if a protein isn't needed anymore, the cell recycles it. Nothing goes to waste.
I wish my closet was that organized. Imagine if old clothes just recycled themselves.
That would be amazing. But back to reality. What about the role of protein synthesis in evolution?
Good point. Mutations in DNA can change proteins, and sometimes those changes offer an advantage.
Which is how new traits evolve over generations. Natural selection in action.
And that's why understanding protein synthesis is so important for genetics and medicine.
Speaking of medicine, antibiotics like tetracycline work by blocking bacterial protein synthesis.
They target the ribosomes in bacteria, but not in humans. That's pretty clever.
It's a great example of how deep knowledge of this process leads to life-saving drugs.
And researchers are now using synthetic biology to design custom proteins. That could revolutionize treatments.
Imagine designing proteins to fight cancer or repair damaged tissues. The possibilities are endless.
But it also raises ethical questions, like how far should we go in editing or designing life?
That's a big question. There's so much potential, but also responsibility.
It makes you appreciate the elegance and complexity of what's happening in our cells every second.
Absolutely. The next time you eat an egg or flex a muscle, you're seeing protein synthesis at work.
Or even just breathing. Hemoglobin proteins carry your oxygen, all thanks to this intricate process.
It's like an invisible orchestra playing in every cell, every moment.
And we barely notice it. But scientists are still uncovering new details all the time.
So, what do you think is the most mind-blowing part of protein synthesis?
For me, it's how universal the code is. Almost every living thing uses the same genetic language.
That's true. It connects us to every living organism on Earth, from bacteria to blue whales.
And yet, such tiny changes in that code can make us so different. It's both humbling and inspiring.
I agree. Maybe that's a good note to end on. Next time you look in the mirror, remember, you're a masterpiece of protein synthesis.
And maybe give your ribosomes a mental high five. They're working hard for you.
Thanks for listening, and keep wondering about the amazing machinery inside you.
Until next time, keep those proteins coming.